Okay, let's start with the first chapter in the second module, synthesis of sentence. In the first module, you learned about the definition of sentence and types of sentences. To just have a recap, sentence refers to group of words arranged logically in an appropriate order and it should convey a proper meaning. The generic pattern of English sentence is subject, verb, object. Okay, when you translate it into your mother tongue or any other vernacular language, the sentence pattern, that is SVO, changes. Okay, and we discussed various types of sentences like assertive or declarative, exclamatory, interrogative sentences. Okay, imperative sentences. I hope you know the differentiation. Most important thing is exclamatory and interrogative sentences. Interrogative helps you as part of the study techniques, and you should always use a question mark at the end of any interrogative sentence. And in exclamatory sentences, we should always use exclamations wherever you explain. Now, the next topic is synthesis of sentences. Synthesis means what? You sum it up, you consolidate. Thesis, antithesis, synthesis, they say. Okay. So here we will be discussing various types of formation of synthesized sentences. Synthesis of sentences refers to the combination of number of simple sentences to form a new sentence. The new sentence which is therefore formed could be simple, complex, or compound. Synthesis of sentences essentially works in three ways. That is, making a new simple sentence with two or more simple sentences. Okay, then making a new complex sentence with two or more simple sentences, and making a new compound sentence with two or more simple sentences. So with multiple simple sentences, how are we going to transform those or synthesize those different simple sentences to one simple sentence or one compound sentence or one complex sentence? So there are ways of synthesizing multiple simple sentences into a simple sentence. One is by using a participle. Second, by using noun or phrase. Third, by using preposition. Fourth, by using nominative absolute. Fifth, by using infinitive. And sixth, by using adverb or adjective. The first part is by using a participle. Okay. The example here is, he saw a lion, he fled away. He saw a lion is one simple sentence. He fled away is another simple sentence. Simple sentence means pattern SVO. Okay. The subject is only one, where only one aspect is discussed. So how are you going to combine it and make one simple sentence? Is seeing a lion, he fled away. Here you are using a participle, present continuous participle, seeing, ing form. Next, she jumped up, she ran away. Jumping up, she ran away. So while you are synthesizing the sentence, verbs are very much important. How you use words matter the most. He tired of reading, he retired to bed. Many times the verbs will be implicit, especially the helping verbs will be implicit. Actually, the sentence should have been, he is tired of reading, he retired to bed. Since is, while discussing about verbs, I told you, verbs are of various types, main verb, auxiliary verbs, and modal auxiliaries. Under helping verbs or auxiliaries, I told you there are three forms: be form, have form, and do form. Forms of be are am, is, are, have, are, have, has, had, and do, does, did. Since is missing here, they've used the verb being. Therefore, being tired of reading, he retired to bed. Then by using noun or a phrase in opposition. Opposition means what? Where two different words are adjacent to one another, where one word is describing the previous word. For example, Bengaluru, the capital of Karnataka. So Bengaluru is the noun, the capital of Karnataka is in opposition to Bengaluru. Means what? It is describing what Bengaluru is. So by doing that also, we can combine two simple sentences into one simple sentence. I love Lisa very much. She is my sister. Two different sentences again. So how are you going to synthesize it? I love my sister Lisa very much. I saw a famous dancer. His name is Derek. I saw the famous dancer Derek. So noun is used. Noun phrase is used to synthesize. My friend was killed in a plane crash. He was one of the greatest supporters in my bad time. My friend, one of my greatest supporters in my bad time, was killed in a plane crash. How will you get to know whether a sentence has opposition or not? Even if you leave out the opposition part, it gives a meaning. It is just an additional information. My friend was killed in a plane crash. It conveys meaning. Okay, this opposition part, one of my greatest supporters in my bad time, it is just elaborating. It is describing the friend. It is actually a adjective phrase. The next part, by using preposition with noun or gerund. Prepositions are used to denote positions. Okay, what do you mean by noun? Noun refers to, sorry, what do you mean by gerund? Gerund refers to a verb noun. Look at this or consider these two examples. Singing is my hobby. He is singing in the class. In these two examples, the word singing has different purpose. In the first example, singing is my hobby. Singing is not a verb. It is a verb noun. It is a gerund. It is used as a noun. So when you use a verb as a noun, you call it as a gerund. In the second example, he is singing in the class. Singing actually denotes a verb form. Okay. We reached the movie hall. The movie had finished by the time. Before our reaching the movie hall, the movie had finished. So what is the role of reaching here? Can you people look into it and tell me? Is reaching performing the role of a verb or a gerund? First example, we reached the movie hall. The movie had finished by that time. So they have used the gerund to combine the sentence. Before our reaching the movie hall, the movie had finished. What is reaching here? Is it a verb or is it a gerund? It is a gerund. Okay. The servant swept the room. He found a rupee lying in the corner. While sweeping the room, the servant found a rupee lying in the corner. Which one? A coin or a note. Where are your textbooks? Follow your textbooks. He has failed many times. He still hopes to get success at last. In spite of many failures, he still hopes to get success at least. So here they have used prepositions such as before, while, in spite of. Okay, they have used prepositions also and also gerunds. Then the next part, by using nominative absolute. Many times in a sentence will be incomplete. Means the verbs or the conjunctions are understood. At times we use nominative or absolute. The office caught fire. He could have said the office has caught fire. That has is understood. All the furniture was burnt to ashes. The office having caught fire. This is where we bring in the nominative absolute. All the furniture was burnt to ashes. Then rains have been plentiful this year. The crop of apple has been rich. Rains having been plentiful this year, the crops of apple have been rich. The thieves were caught by the police. They surrendered the stolen property. Having been caught by the police, the thieves surrender the stolen property. Okay? Nominative absolute refers to prepositions and verbs that are missing in a sentence. Okay, we try to include it as part of the synthesis sentence, synthesize sentence. The next part, by using infinitive. Infinitive refers to to plus base form of the verb. We say to infinitive. I am going to Jaipur. I have to purchase a house. Two different sentences. How are you going to combine it using an infinitive? I am going to Jaipur to purchase a house. Which is the infinitive here? To plus base form of the verb I said. It's to purchase. There are still 3 questions left. I have to solve them. I have still 3 more questions to solve. Again, to infinitive, to solve. He is very weak. He cannot pass this year. He is too weak to pass this year. Okay, infinitive refers to plus base form of the verb. Then by using an adverb or an adjective, okay, many a times it leads to a lot of confusions. You have to see whether the word is describing a noun or a verb. If a word is describing a word or a noun, it is adjective. If it is describing any actions or verbs, it is an adverb. Examples. It was evening. The train had not reached by the time. The train had not reached by evening. What have they used here? They use adverb or adjective? The train had not reached by evening. What is by evening? What is by evening? What is the role of by evening in the sentence? Is it functioning the role of an adjective or an adverb? What is it describing? By evening, what is it describing in the sentence? It's an adverb because it is describing the verb reached. This hall is large, 300 people can sit in it. This hall is large enough for 300 people to sit in it. What is this 300 people to sit in it? It's an adjective because it is describing the hall. Anything that describes a noun is an adjective. Yes. She has much time. She can enjoy this big mall. She has time enough to enjoy this big mall. So what is this phrase? Enjoy. Enjoy this big mall. What is it describing? Is it an adjective or an adverb? Look at the sentence. She has time enough to enjoy this big mall. Look at the entire phrase. What is that doing to the main subject? Time enough means actions. It's an adverb here. Got it? You should look into what these words or phrases are doing to the main subject. Then we'll move on to the second part. How are you synthesizing? How are you going to synthesize multiple simple sentences into one complex sentence? There are three ways to make a new complex sentence by adding more than two simple sentences. First is by using a noun clause. Second, by using an adjective clause and an adverbial clause. So how are you going to differentiate between a sentence and a clause, or a phrase or a clause? A clause will have a verb in it. Okay, you are aware of the main clause and the subordinate clauses. Main clause and the dependent clause. So here, noun clause, adjective clause, and adverbial clauses. Example, he is saying everybody knows it. Okay, everybody knows that he is a saint. It's a noun clause, it has a verb in it. He is saint, everybody knows it. Two verbs there. I told you that yesterday, you should try it. How are you going to differentiate a phrase and a clause? A clause will have a verb in it. You must try that. Everybody knows that he is saint. You must try that what I told you yesterday. He has failed. The reason is his illness. The reason of his illness is that he is ill. Okay? He was innocent. This was a statement. It was right. A statement that he was innocent was right. So in all these, you see how adjective clause and adverbial clauses. Okay? You see how noun clause, adjective clause, or adverbial clause is taken into consideration. Now you identify which is the noun clauses here. Everybody knows that he is a saint. He is a saint, everybody knows. It's a noun clause because it is describing the saint. You must try hard that what I told you yesterday. Again, noun clause. In noun clause, we at times use pronouns as well. Next, by using adjective clause, silence. Adjective clause, any clause that describes a noun, you call it as an adjective. I met an old man, he was very weak. He was very weak, becomes an adjective clause because it is describing the old man. I met an old man who was very weak. Second example, I saw a car, it was black in color. I saw a car which was black in color. So which was black in color is an adjective clause. I met my friend or your friend, his phone was stolen in the train. I met your friend whose phone was stolen in the train. Again, the entire clause, whose phone was stolen, is an adjective clause. I have purchased a big house. It has a big guest room. My guest room is well decorated. See, you see, all these clauses are describing the noun. The house that I purchased has a big guest room which is well decorated. The house is actually the noun. Okay, and the other as parts of the sentence, it's explaining or describing the noun. So we'll move on to adverbial clause. Adverbial clause means what? Any clause that describes an action. I could not come, I was ill. I could not come because I was tired. They have used idioms here. Okay, because I was tired refers to adverbial clause. He committed a theft. He has been caught by the police. He committed a theft, so he has been caught by the police. So all these are describing actions. Here, arrested by the police or caught by the police is describing why he is being arrested. That is the theft. Tell me the truth, I shall pardon you. I shall pardon you if you tell me the truth. The thief saw the police, he took his heels. Again, idiom, he took his heels means he ran away. As soon as the thief saw the police, he took his heels. See, again, it leads to confusion here. You should always take into consideration the subject. You should not just try to match the particular clause with the nearest subject. That is called as error. Okay? Many times what mistake do we commit in subject-verb agreement is, we try to match or try to find out an agreement between the nearest subject. That you should avoid. You should always look into the main subject. If you look at this example, as soon as the thief saw the police, he took his heels. Here he leads to confusion whether it is the thief or the police. If you go by the nearest subject, you will be committing a mistake. That is called as conquered in subject-verb agreement. Then the last part is, how are you going to synthesize two multiple simple sentences into a compound? Compound sentence is easy. Simple sentence is the basic. Compound sentence, you just add conjunctions. Complex sentence, you will have multiple simple sentences. Compound sentences can be made by adding two or more than two simple sentences while using either coordinate conjunctions or appropriate punctuation marks to connect them. What do you mean by coordinating conjunctions? When two conjunctions are used together. For example, and but, either or, neither nor, not only but also. When you use both of these conjunctions together, you call it as coordinating conjunctions. Compound sentences can be made by adding two or more than two simple sentences, okay, while using coordinating conjunctions or appropriate punctuation marks to connect them. The first example, I went to the market, I saw a beautiful watch, I could not, however, purchase it. There are multiple simple sentences here. Okay. How are you going to make it a compound sentence? By just adding the conjunctions. I went to the market and saw a beautiful watch, but I could not purchase it. And but are the coordinating conjunctions. He is slow, he is regular. He is slow but regular. Why can't you use and in this sentence? Can anyone of you tell me? Silence there. Why can't you use and in this sentence? He is slow and regular. Why can't you use and? Because it does not convey appropriate meaning for the sentence. Because slow is a negative term and regular is a positive term. You have to contradict. Therefore, you have to use a suitable conjunction. That is but. He is industrious. He is very serious in his work. He is not only industrious but also very serious in his work. Or you can even change it to he is industrious and serious in his work. Get in, you may catch cold. Get in or you may catch cold. Okay, so it's a contradictory statement. You have to identify a suitable conjunction. Conjunctions does not mean you can fit in one conjunction to all types of sentences. Depending on the meaning that the sentence intends to convey, you have to use. It was very cold last night. I could not have a sound sleep. It was very cold last night and therefore I could not have a sound sleep. Okay, cause and effect analysis here. So you should, in English, there is no one correct answer. You can rephrase according to the meaning that you want to convey. Okay, so now we have discussed several ways in which we can synthesize multiple simple sentences into a simple sentence, into a compound sentence and complex sentence. Keep one thing in mind, simple sentence the main focus is only one. Compound sentence, two information or two different sentences will be given. You combine, synthesize it using conjunctions. In complex, what you do, you use clauses. Okay, you use adjective clause, adverbial clause, or a noun. Okay, so go through it for each of the